Living a life on the road is something that so many only dream of. Yet today we're about to meet someone who's taken that dream and turned it into her reality by building a truly spectacular tiny house truck. Hi Jude, how are you?
Hi Bryce, nice to meet you.
It's lovely to meet you, and I am so very excited to see your beautiful home here.
Oh, I like showing it off.
So first of all, can you tell me a little bit about how you came to be living in a house truck?
I have been a camper van and caravan person for probably coming on for 20 years now. Spent the last 8 years living on the road in camper vans. Got very sick of being cold and living in other people's designs, and when the whole tiny house movement started coming in, and I fell in love with the whole idea of building a tiny house, but I didn't want to put it on land. I still wanted to move around because I get to stay at beautiful spots and I get these $1 million views, but I don't have to pay any rates.
Very true. I mean, this parking spot, for example, you certainly do have multi-million-dollar views. This is incredible, isn't it?
And this is only one. There's like just up the road there's another one just like it.
We are spoilt for choice in New Zealand,
Oh,
aren't we?
really spoilt for choice. Very lucky indeed.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about the house in just a moment, but first, the truck is obviously a really important part of the setup, isn't it? Can you tell me about that?
Okay, so I originally was, when I first planned this whole thing, I was trying to do it a little bit cheaper, so I thought, oh, I'll get a second-hand truck, but I'm very glad I bought new because it is hassle-free travelling. You know, it's still under warranty. I've only had it for a year. The mechanic doesn't have to touch it for another 10,000 Ks, and when he does, he just has a quick look, and yeah, it's worry-free. Especially when you're a woman travelling on your own, you don't want to be breaking down on the side of the road. It's not much fun. So when I was planning the whole tiny house and what it was going on, everything has to have more than one use. So this truck, not only does it hold the tiny house and drag my house along the road and take me to all these wonderful places, it also can become a laundry room. You hang your clothes up in there, clothes are dry. Doesn't matter what it's doing out there, the clothes are dry. It's also a shed. Because I don't have a passenger, the whole passenger seat gets taken up with other things.
Well, I love that you're really making your investment work for you. And now the house here, first of all, what size is this?
So this is 6.4 metres long and 2.4 metres wide. So it's not a lot bigger than what I had previously. It's just a little bit wider and just a little bit long, but of course it's a little bit taller as well. So all of that makes for a lot more space.
Absolutely, and you're completely off the grid in this home, aren't you?
Oh, completely off the grid, yeah. So it's got the self-containment tanks which hold all the grey water and the black water, just like a camper van does. Got all the fresh water up here, all the grey water down here, solar on the top. I've had to augment that a little bit, started out with about 500 watts, gone up to 800 watts. And the whole house is 240 volt. It means I can plug anything in wherever I like, and I don't have to think, oh, well, this one will do this, but it won't do this, and I have to switch that on before I can do that. It's just like a normal house.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And then, of course, one of the tremendous advantages to building a mobile home like this, where it is more of a tiny house, is you have all of the benefits of a regular home, don't you? Much better insulation than a conventional house truck, much better joinery and all of that sort of thing.
The whole insulation thing was a big thing for me. I've spent 8 years in vehicles that have been changed over to make them into a living space. So I spent 8 years being cold, and I was just sick of it. Sick of being cold and feeling like I was cramped all the time. Yeah,
fair enough too. And can you tell me a little bit about what this is made out of?
So it's all cedar, so it's been treated. I did actually have to pick the colour, you wouldn't think so, but I did. And the windows were all handmade by the builder, and they're like a red cedar. Yeah, so two different sorts of cedar.
And then I see that the windows here are very strategically placed, aren't they? You don't have any windows at the front, but then you've got this gorgeous big picture window right at the rear of the truck.
And that was all planned, believe me, it was planned. So I can open both these French doors, and with the back window at the back, you feel like you're outside.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like, but you're comfortable because you're on your own couch.
And you've got a very clever design with the scissor stairs there.
Yeah, I had to actually import those in from America.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't find any in New Zealand that would do what I wanted them to do, and I looked online and couldn't find anything. There's still a few minor things that I'd like to tweak because that last step is quite a big one. So I've got a really good engineer in Wairoa, and he is going to sort something out for me with that.
Excellent. Well, I absolutely love the look of your home from the outside, and I am so very excited to check it out inside. Can we take a look?
Oh, come inside, you're welcome.
Thank you. Oh, this is absolutely beautiful. Standing inside here right now, I would have no idea that we're in a house truck.
Well, when you start moving around, you'll feel it jiggle a bit, but other than that, no, you don't realise you're in a house truck.
Yeah. And immediately the big picture window, these incredible French doors. It really is lovely how this home just brings all of those wonderful outdoor elements right into your living room, doesn't it?
Oh, it just makes it so airy, and you don't feel claustrophobic. And,
Yeah.
it's such a comfortable space to live in.
Beautiful timber and woodwork in here as well.
I actually love the negative detailing. So I like the way that this black shows through, but you've got wood everywhere. Because I can work with wood. I can't work with metal and plastic and, like you've got in a camper van. But with wood, I can knock a hole in it. And if I don't like it, I can putty it up.
And hang all of your glorious artwork on the walls.
Yeah. And I've got room to put some artwork up. I never did in there. I had those two pictures, this little one and this little one. That was all I had in my camper vans.
Wow.
Because there was just no room to put anything else. So now it's like, oh, okay. Every time I go somewhere and there's an art gallery, I have a look and think, oh, they've got little pictures. Oh, look, I'll buy one of those from Tokomaru Bay.
Beautiful. And I see you've even got your Christmas tree hanging up.
Well, I saw something on Facebook. It didn't quite look like that because these had all those coloured things on it, but I thought I'd give it a go. And then I thought, what am I going to put on it? All my decorations are somewhere else. Okay, well, I'll just put some of this and some of this. And yeah, so I quite like the natural idea. Yeah,
I like it too. I think it looks beautiful.
And I mean, it had to be flat because there's not a lot of room. So I thought that space is made for it.
And now, of course, we are standing in your living room, and this looks deceptively simple because I'm guessing there's actually a lot more going on here than meets the eye.
There's an awful lot going on in this space because during the day, yes, it is my living room, but at night it becomes my bedroom. In the morning, it's my yoga room, and when I have guests, they go into this bed here.
So this here is actually a pull-down bed then?
It is a pull-down bed. It's got a pulley system up here, and it drops right down, sits on top of here. And what happens is this bed pulls out and this bed comes down and they go on top of each other like this. The feet, yeah.
What a brilliant system, having the two beds like that.
We had to figure out a way of getting two sleeping spaces into a one level place. Normally in the tiny houses you've got the loft areas and you could maybe put a couch down that folds out to a bed. But because I live in it and I don't want to have to make up a bed every day, this was a happy medium. So when we come up with this idea, we also realised that there was a lot of space left under there because, that whole area is raised, but the bed only goes back so far. So they made me these stairs, which are they're quite amazing because they come all the way to here. And it's just way more storage, heaps of storage in there.
And then you've got the lovely fireplace there, and nothing makes a place feel like home quicker than a fire.
This whole tiny house got built because of that fire, because as I told you outside, I spent 8 years being cold and wrapped up and, in vehicles that weren't really built for people to live in during winter. And I was just cold all the time and I couldn't fit the fireplace in there. So I just built a tiny house instead.
And it must just be so cozy on a winter's day, lighting the fire, cuddling up in here, and then still taking advantage of all of these wonderful views.
Honestly, I've had the warmest winter. I just hardly even, I'd go outside, I'd open the door, I'd go outside, and oh wow, it's really cold out here.
Beautiful. And then in the next level up here, we have your kitchen, and this looks like a really wonderful workspace.
It is a really great workspace, actually. It's got enough room here to do pretty much everything I want, but if I'm baking or my son is making me dinner, which sometimes does happen, then you just pull this one here up like this, and you've got another bench.
Brilliant.
So you can spread out a little bit. which is great.
Absolutely. Very important to have all that prep area, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a full-size gas oven, so it's got gas on the top, gas in the bottom, and the only electricity that goes to it is when you start it up.
Just the ignition.
Yeah, so it's a full-size gas oven. It's probably a bit bigger than I actually need, but who knows, if I've got 12 people in here in a housewarming, I need a big oven. And the same with the fridge. It's just a normal house fridge, which runs off the whole 240 volt system, which all comes out of an inverter, so yeah.
Brilliant. And what size are your batteries in the home?
So I've got they're deep cycle batteries. I've got 4 of them, and they're 250 amp hours each.
It's a great amount of storage.
It is. Most of the time I don't need it because there's enough sunlight that it's driving everything anyway and charging up the batteries. But the good thing is that I've got a converter that takes the energy from the motor of the truck and sends it through and charges up the batteries as well. So if I get a bit low, I can do that. The third option is I have a power point outside where I can plug into like a normal caravan plug, and then I just switch a switch and the whole house runs on mains power instead.
Definitely nice to have all of those options. And here in the kitchen as well, it does look like you've got an abundance of storage.
So much storage. So all of these cupboards up here have storage in them. You've got the cupboards down here, and then of course my pantry.
Oh wow, look at that.
I love this pantry. Absolutely love it.
Beautiful. So we've got the pantry here, and then what's in the other 2 cupboards?
So in these 2 cupboards we've got my clothes storage and the linen cupboard down the bottom there. So I've got all these little baskets that have all my clothes and things in them with their pretty little labels on them, because there's a lot of things that need to go in there and you don't want them just falling all over the place.
Absolutely, very important. And then what do we have behind the mystery door there?
Well, this is my wonderful bathroom, which I'm very happy to have.
Oh, brilliant. What a great sized bathroom. For a very compact house, you've done a great job of creating a sense of spaciousness in the bathroom, haven't you?
Well, I've got to say that the builder pretty much came up with all of this, but my main thing was when you live in a camper van, your toilet is in your shower, because it's a space saver, and I was just so sick of having a wet toilet all the time. So being able to have a standalone shower, it's just a full size, one that you would have in a house, and not have to worry about the toilet seat getting wet. It's just great.
And then you've got a micro flush toilet as well.
Yes, that's one that they normally use in yachts, because we've got a black tank. I don't have to put any chemicals in it. It just drops down, and I've got a pipe, and I just hook it up at a dump station, and it's just, I don't see it.
Yeah, nice and easy way of dealing with it.
Yeah, very easy way.
And then you've got a nice size vanity there as well.
It's a lovely size vanity. I don't need anything bigger, and it's got lots of storage in there as well, so that's another good thing. And there's actually another storage space underneath the floor.
Brilliant. So you've been living in the home now for just over a year. How are you finding it's working out for you?
Oh, look, I absolutely love it. It's changed my whole way of travelling, because I used to spend a night in a place, and I had this idea in my head that I needed to move places every day to keep myself occupied. But because this space is so cool, it actually feels like you're living in a home, so I can pull up somewhere in a beautiful setting like this, and I get my bike off the front and go for a ride down into the community, and I make sure I spend money in the communities I go into as well, because that's a big thing about this lifestyle is if you're going to spend money, if they give you a free place to park, then you should give them some of your money. If you're going to spend it, you might as well spend it here, so I try and do that a lot too. So one of the things I get asked a lot about, well, 2 things actually that I get asked a lot about is, do you get lonely and do you ever get scared? So I park up in some pretty amazing places, and quite often I'm the only person here, but I never get scared, because you get an idea about a place, whether it's got a good vibe to it or a bad vibe to it, or the sort of people that you see coming around during the day, and I refuse to live my life around what somebody else might do. But the other thing is the lonely factor. I get asked that a lot. Don't you get lonely, Jude, all on your own, travelling around? But I say to them, just think about the people I meet. you know, I meet some amazing people, and if I, you know, I sit in here and I have these wonderful views and I read my book and I do this and I do that, and then I think, I haven't talked to anybody today. So out I go and trottle off and find somebody to talk to.
So here right now, we've got $1 million views and $1 million lifestyle. Can we talk a little bit about the cost that was involved in making this a reality?
So I originally budgeted $100,000 to do this job, and it cost me nearly twice that. So all up, the whole cost was $180,000. So of that, nearly $80,000 was just the truck. So the cab and the chassis and getting it painted. So that was about $77,000. Another $6,000 to do the solar, $10,000 to do all the self-containment stuff underneath, putting the gas lockers in, things like that. So yeah, all up about $185,000. But I've got a brand new vehicle, brand new home, and wouldn't you much rather live in this? Living in this tiny home and having it on the back of a truck has given me a lifestyle that a lot of people can't imagine, but it's the most incredible lifestyle. It really is. You wake up to these absolutely gorgeous views. You get to see places in your country that you wouldn't normally see, and you get to meet the most amazing people.
Jude, not only have you created a truly beautiful home for yourself here, but also equally as beautiful a lifestyle. Thank you so much for sharing it with me.
You're welcome, and thank you for taking the time to come and find me.
It's my pleasure. What Jude has created here is something really special. She gets all of the advantages of this wonderful and adventurous lifestyle traveling on the road, and yet here, within these walls, all of the comforts of a truly beautiful home.